I'm a tiny taggart in a brave new world, gonna free this town. If you didn't know about me already, well, you know it now.
Hi guys, I'm Objectivist Girl. If you haven't met me already, welcome to my channel. I just got back from the International Students for Liberty Conference and it was amazing. If you didn't attend this year, I suggest that you go next year. I got to meet some of my amazing subscribers. I got to record them telling me exactly why it was that they like to watch Objectivist Girl. So soon I'll be making a video of that. I'm giving some of my other fans an opportunity to send in videos about why they like to watch Objectivist Girl. So if you have something to say, record yourself and send it in to me. So today, guys, we're going to talk about the difference between Ayn Rand and Kant's views of individual ethics, and they could really never be further apart. Kant's philosophy says that the rightness or wrongness of actions does not depend on their consequences, but on whether they fill our duty. Ayn Rand would say the opposite. She would say that the most important thing for an action to do is to bring good consequences for the self. She advocates for long-term goals to bring the most happiness to one's life and to think rationally about every action and what consequences they would bring. Ayn Rand does agree with Kant, however, on the why factor. So Kant says that it's important for someone to think about why they are taking a certain action, and Ayn Rand would actually agree with this. However, she agrees for a different reason. Kant thinks that one should do just what is right, and if they do it because they want to find happiness or get something out of it, it now is morally wrong. So in other words, if you decide to give to charity because it'll make you happy, then it's morally wrong. But the only way for it to be morally right is if you give to charity and don't want any happiness in return. So you shouldn't want anything in return whatsoever. Ayn Rand says that you should always get something in return for your actions. She says you should be selfish, that you must think about yourself when acting. One must consider themselves first in any action. Ayn Rand says this not because she's a horrible person, but because the self is the most important in her philosophy. She believes that one who lives for themselves is moral because we're obligated to make our lives the best we can if we wish to lead a life of happiness, which is the highest moral state in her philosophy. Ayn Rand's philosophy creates a society where people are more productive and happy. Kant's creates a society where people are obligated to do certain things and do them resentfully sometimes because it doesn't really matter what they want inside. So Kant's philosophy creates this angry society where people feel obligated to one another and resent one another because they wish that other people weren't around, versus Ayn Rand's philosophy that says, why don't we turn this on our head, make things mutually beneficial, and say, what do I want? What would be best for me? And she does this saying you can't violate someone else's rights doing this. As I said in my last video, it goes both ways. So they're supposed to think about what they want, you're supposed to think about what you want, and you take that and you try and see if there's a way that you can both win. So she tries to set up a win-win situation. And this is where a lot of people get confused about Ayn Rand. They think she's just a mean person, when in reality she's assuming that everyone thinks this way. So she's setting her premise on the basis that people already think this way. So that's where you get this discrepancy of people taking advantage of people, because she would never, ever, ever say that it's all right to take advantage of another human being. So I guess what I want to ask you guys as my subscribers, would you rather get charity from someone who wants to do it for you, or someone who does it because they feel like they have to? Someone who will often feel resentful towards you for a long time. In Kant's philosophy, if you give someone charity because it makes you happy, you are morally despicable. Does this sound like a good code of ethics? Ayn Rand didn't think so. She says this is the only reason that you should give to charity. In Kant's philosophy, he says, if both people act for the right reasons, then both are morally worthy, even if the action of one of them happens to lead to bad consequences by bad luck. Ayn Rand would disagree with this. She would say any bad consequences comes from short-sightedness and a lack of planning. No one should feel morally worthy for having been short-sighted and to have not thoroughly thought out a plan. This is morally wrong. They should consider the consequences even more than the action. In objectivism, we think about what we want and we act to gain it. Consequences are number one and actions are number two. Kant's philosophy is short-sighted at best and reckless at worst. Objectivism creates a society where one acts to gain happiness. And because of this goal, their actions are well thought out because inside we all want to be happy and we all are innately selfish. Instead of trying to deny what we are, which is not bad at all, we should find a way to make our innate selfishness into principles that would make the world better. Well thought out goals and good incentives to not harm others is a way to feed our selfishness while creating a better society as a whole. So, what do you guys think? Would you rather live in Kant's society or Ayn Rand's? So, leave that in the comment section below. Below, I've also included links to the Free State Project so you can sign up and come hang out with me and all of my friends here at the Free State Project. I've also included links to my Facebook, Twitter, and blog so you can hear even more from me. And I've also included a link to my song Shrug so you can listen to the rest of that. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think of that song. I'm really looking forward to releasing my entire album on September 4th. So that should be really exciting. So remember guys, knowledge is not for all men, but for those who seek it. So keep seeking.